All right, Joanne, you are a single mother of 8 children.
Yes.
Talk about what the Learning Center, the Salvation Army Learning Center, has meant to you.
A lot. I go through a lot of struggles. I do work full time. Um, I've had a lot of issues with food, pay my bills, my rent. They pretty much was there since day one when I moved from Kentucky over to here, which about, I guess, a little over 9 years, almost 10. And it was just as soon as the youngest children was put in here so I could work, it sort of started like right there. Just if I needed it, it was there. It was.
This Learning Center, all of your children have gone through the Learning Center, is that right?
Well, I have older children, but Aaron's 20 now. He went through it. And then Courtney, she's no longer with them, but because she's older, but she did. Christopher, he's 15, and Zach now is the last one here. Yes. Yep.
And tell me about your experience with the Learning Center and your kids being here.
It's not all just food and financial. I've had a lot of, because of all my issues, being on my own and everything. I've always had somebody to talk to, Miss Tab or like Miss Amy, the daycare teacher, Mr. Todd. There's very little that I have needed and have not gotten, and if they couldn't, there was a resource, they would give me a resource. But I really don't think I could have done as well over here as I have because of them. I mean, honestly, because we would have been really hungry and really wouldn't have had a place to go, really.
You mentioned a couple of people, but tell me about the staff and what they've meant to you.
Oh, there's so many. Some of I can't remember. So the younger staff, younger than me, there's James and yes, Mr. Logan. Thank you, Mr. Tyler. But they've all meant a lot to me. Of course, I'm older, so the older ones sort of stand out to me because they were real supportive. Miss Bonnie, but she's no longer with us. But Miss Amy, Mr. Todd, Miss Tab. Miss Tab was sort of with me from, she just sort of come like the second or maybe the second year I had just moved here. And she just really dug in with my family and even I was like, I don't know. It became what it was. No, Miss Hille, you need to do these things, take care of your family. Your children deserve, certain things. And if you can't give it to them, there's others who can and can help you. I don't know what I would have done without him, basically, honestly. It's going on close to 10 years, I think, that we've been with Salvation Army.
You mentioned that you have had a lot of struggles and some issues. What has it meant to you to not have to worry about where your kids are?
That's a big thing for me because I'm not home a lot. I mean, I do come home, but there's days I don't get home till 6 or 7, and knowing that he's safe, or I could pick him up knowing he's safe after school. Sometimes, where I'm living at, it's not the best, so I don't have to worry about him running outside, getting into trouble, which I don't think I would have a problem with that. But I've always had it here for them, even summer. Especially for him. Now he's the baby, he's the youngest, he's the last one going through here. I don't have no worries at all because I know he's safe here, he's gonna be fed here, he's gonna be taken care of, a good place to go.
Talk about the education they receive and some of the learning.
The teachers are real supportive, the teacher aides. I've had lots of struggles, not so much with Courtney and Zach, but I mean they've had their issues. But I've had a real hard struggle with Christopher. He's 15, and Chris was real ill when he was born, and he's got a lot of issues. He's got mild cerebral palsy, learning. He had some issues with his brain, some brain damage. Outburst. I just feel like if anybody else would have dealt with him, it would have been out the door he went, or they just couldn't deal with him, or they might have been mean to him. He's he's a lot better now, but he was really hard to deal with, and the center dealt with him well, not just with his issues, but with teaching him whenever it was needed. There was very few times that I had to come home from work and had to do homework because either it was done or they was just about finished with it. They always had a time when with kids sit down and do their homework. That's a big deal for me. You know, it really is. When I got to come home and I have to get them ready for the next day and, you know, be it cook or clean or whatever, it means a lot. It does.
You mentioned Christopher.
Yes.
What's your reaction when I tell you that the staff said that they learned so much more from Christopher than they could have ever taught him? They said they learned patience and resilience and then never give up.
On their stuff, as far as they go, I agree with that. Because I couldn't. The older he got, you know, because they told me there'd be more issues for him as he got older that we didn't see we'd see more when he was growing up because he had brain bleeds and stuff. It's very hard to deal with a child like him, especially at his age now, 15. And I do believe that they did so well. I was leery of that, not because I thought they would do anything mean. It's just because he was hard to handle. Even as a very young child, before he came over here, you know, we don't have classes like that, or he's having outbursts, he does this, he does that, we can't have him here. I never had complaints from anybody here. No, you know, they would tell me what was going on, you know, or, you know, they have to make out the reports of his days and stuff, but they never turned him away, and they never, you know, they might give me a call, say something happened or whatever, but never. And I truly believe that, they, I don't know. They just been really good to all my children, and he was the one. He was the one. He was going to be that one who's going to give everybody a run for their money. He still does. He does.
I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Tell me about Christmas at your home.
Christmas at my home. I'm gonna be really truthful. Christmas at home the last couple of years. I mean, we are offered sign-ups and stuff. I've tried to take a step back the last couple of years and do the best I can for my kids because I was treated so well here when I first came. I had a wonderful Christmas for my kids. And I know if I reach out, I can have whatever it is I need. But sometimes, you know, I'm like, wow, you know, okay, I have trouble paying my bills, but there's somebody out there who maybe can't work and has children, and I'm sitting up here just taking all I can get. That's the way I feel, you know. And I haven't really signed up in the last couple of years, but in the past, wonderful, not just little things for the children, the toys and the clothes, shoes, I mean, food. When I just couldn't do it, I couldn't. And, you know, I've got them down to 3 at home now, but when there was 6 and 8 of them at home, it's a big chore, big chore.
What do you want people to know about the Salvation Army?
Well, I want them to know that with me being I came from Covington, Kentucky, and turn around, and sorry, I came from Covington, and it was a big move for me. My mother was very sick, and that's why another reason I moved because I didn't have a car at the time. So when I came here, I was lost. I knew nothing how to do. This is a lot bigger to me than Covington. I was not happy here. I had nobody here to help me. I thought, you know, until I, you know, discovered the Salvation Army for my daycare needs. The door's always open for anybody here, and it's just not, like I said, for bills and little Christmas things and stuff like that. It's the church. I haven't done a lot of it, but I know that's the backbone of this place, and that they're here for. I've emotionally leaned a lot on certain teachers, a lot of times Miss Tab, for myself, you know, a lot of crying fest, you know, but everybody here, they're very kind. I just think, you know, anything emotional, your emotional well-being, your children's well-being, everything, they offer a little bit of everything here as far as I'm concerned, everything.
What would have happened had the Salvation Army not been here for you?
My kids have been very hungry because I just didn't know where to turn to, because when I did move to Cincinnati, it took me a little over 60 days to get my food stamps, because I had to. What happened was you have to sign off in Kentucky so you can get support systems over here, and I had nothing. Nothing. I had nobody over here, just me and the kids and my aunt. She's elderly. I I didn't know what to do. They probably been hungry. I didn't even know what the food stamp office or anything was around here. I didn't know. I didn't know how to take buses over here and everything. I would not been very well off. My children probably would have been hungry. I know that. I just don't think I would have ended up the way I am today if it hadn't been for them. It would have been very sad, I think, if I hadn't had the Salvation Army, honestly, because I had no clue what to do over here. Nothing. And this little tiny building up here, I walked through one day, and it was just like that. It was.
Tell me why people should support the Salvation Army.
For lots of reasons, we need to support them, keep them going, so we can have things, not just for people, a single mom, myself. I know there's single dads out there. I know there's children who have nobody out there at all. From what I've seen in the years I've been here, and I've come to functions here and everything, to me it's family oriented. I've never had any problems meeting other parents here when we've had functions. It's very neighborhood-like. I feel welcome, and I see other parents that felt welcomed here. I just think it's very important to the community that we keep our Salvation Armies open, because, I mean, without the Salvation Army, nobody else held a hand out to me. And I think it's real important, not just for somebody who's like me, who's never been in this area or thing before, but for other things, our elderly, somebody like my aunt. If she didn't have me, I would hope that she would have this place and that she would have found it too. I just think it's very important to the community. I really do.
I understand that Courtney and Zach are avid readers, and that the school provided some books for you.
Mm-hmm. Dozens of times they've come home with a book from the center. It's either been given to them or they borrowed. I'm a big reader. Not all my kids caught on to that, but these two have. Anything that they can read, they pretty much read. When they've gotten like newer books, they've been the first ones. Yeah, you want the books? The books we no longer need or whatever. And we've took them out of here in boxes before. But yeah, they always offer good things. Like I think not. I don't want to say push. I would say encourage the children to read. Because even up in the school age rooms and stuff, there's even in little rooms, there's always like little books, and then like where Zach is at and everything, there's, yes, little bookcases. There's always a book for them. Yes, they encourage them to read a lot. They really do. I guess I just want everybody to know that I first of all, I feel sad because after Zach, myself, I will no longer be affiliated with the Salvation Army because all my kids will be too old. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Again, I don't know what I would have done without him. And Mr. Todd, I mean, some days I come in, I'm not happy, and things don't go my way, and I can't make them go my way. And they're always happy, they're peppy, they always have a nice greeting for me here, or anybody for that matter. They make my day just sometimes just speaking to me and talking to me. I have a lot of memories here of my children growing up. I want people to know that it's just not somewhere you can put your kids for daycare. It's a place where, I've been looking for years at pictures on the wall of my kids when I walk in, and like my son Aaron's 20 now, and he was little when he started coming here, and he's 6'1.5" now. He's a big guy now. But I could walk through the doors and I just see memories. Teachers are no longer with us. The people who have moved on. I just want people to know this is a good place, and not to rule it out, because I think sometimes people are like, the Salvation Army or anything that's affiliated with any type of religious beliefs, people tend to, turn away from it. I'm actually Catholic. I was born and raised Catholic. I never had an issue when I walked through the store. I knew what it's about. I knew it was Christian based. I'm not a lot, I'm not just one of the people who stick my nose up and just stick with one thing, I'm very open. And that's the way I want my kids to be. And that's the way they are here. They're open. They do not care what color you are, what you've gone through, what you're going through, they'll get you through it. They will. And they're good people. They're wonderful people. And I hope a family gets as lucky as me.